Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski, along with our coaches Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley. First and foremost, Happy New Year to everyone. Ready or not, here it comes. 2023 is just about here. So is the Rose Bowl, which means a lot of distractions, guys, with other college games, New Year's Eve. How do you spend the final hours leading up to a big bowl game?
Well, with all the other games on, Joe used to tell guys, and we would tell them, hey, watch the other games, play them in your mind. Use those to get yourself mentally ready, but also think about who you're about to play.
Yeah, I think everybody has a little different way of getting ready for the game. Each player, so you just don't get in their way. They have a certain way of doing it, and that's the way they're going to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the guys are totally focused on stuff. Others might be a little bit loose. Well, the Nittany Lions are thrilled to be in Pasadena, and the spotlight shines very bright on the Big Ten in our opening drive. All right, so there you see the plane leaving HIA earlier in the week as they arrive in Pasadena. Bowl practice weeks. Is the plan already in place? What do you do with those games, with those bowl practices as you get ready to go for the game?
Well, you hope that you've got most of it covered before you get there, but not all of it because you don't want them to be bored. You want them to have an edge, but you cannot with bowl activities and other things going on. You can't do too much with them mentally other than sharpen things up.
Well, the one thing you want to do, the game plan's in. You're ready to go out there and play. Then you want to get as close to you can as a normal game week. Get them into that rhythm that they're used to getting into and keep them in that rhythm.
You like to have some of that routine. Of course, everyone talks about the importance of the extra practices to improve your overall program. Don't underestimate the team bonding that takes place when you're away together for a long stretch.
It's such a family atmosphere because, we're in the hotel. Whether it's a late game, we're going to be in the hotel the whole day, or, whether it's somewhere far, we're on a flight for a good bit. So, that just gives us more time, joke around, have fun with each other, just keep building chemistry because, the more you hang out with somebody, the more you're going to understand them, and then, we play better as a team that way.
Whatever one needs, the other's going to do it for them. If one falls, the other will pick them up, and the brotherhood is unmatched.
You always see that senior leadership, guys.
Yeah, and on a bowl trip like this, with a big bowl game, that's going to be important in this one because Utah's an older football team as well.
Yeah, typically we wait until the end, but we're going to go to some of the players to watch. So, but you got some legacy guy that you want to mention.
Curtis Enos, All-American running back, 1997. His son is playing for Utah, wide receiver, Solomon Enos. So watch him, number 21 on the offensive side. But then Utah is missing some guys that are important. Their leading receiver, Kincaid, the tight end, is out. Their leading rusher got hurt in week 10. He's out, but the two guys that have filled in have done nicely. And you got their All-American corners out.
Yeah, so take a look at the guys that they don't have to worry about. These are some of the missing players. Clark Phillips is the one that you mentioned there. And then you go into the defensive guys for the Utes there.
A really good linebacker core here. Taller guys on the outside, 6'4", and the safeties are the leading tacklers, Tom, and that's sometimes good, sometimes it's bad, but these guys,
they can tackle. I think from watching this, the guy they're really going to miss is the tight end because, as you know, that becomes the quarterback safety valve. That's the guy he likes to look to. When all else fails, he's going there. The corner, too. Having a great corner is a big effect. This is the one game those linebackers are going to have to step up for Utah.
Yeah. Okay, and then the guys on the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned the tight end's not there, but they still got a couple of good running backs and good offensive linemen.
Yeah, they've got two tackles that were both first-team All-Pac-12. That's a big deal. Again, Penn State's going to have their hands full trying to get to the quarterback who's mobile. The two running backs that took over, it's really a two-headed monster there, combined for 400 and something yards in the last two games and at 8.7 yards per carry, and the quarterback we'll talk about even more.
All right, so here's the other point we want to make in our opening drive quickly. It's too big to ignore, though, and that's the opportunity for the Big Ten. The spotlight very bright on the conference with Michigan and Ohio State in the national semifinals. The third-place team, Penn State, is in the Rose Bowl, Tom. So you got three teams with the national spotlight shining bright.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good chance for everybody to show just how good the Big Ten is. I mean, it could be a Big Ten final.
Yeah, and here's Jim Harbaugh, listen to this, talking in circles for 7 seconds to say he's glad to be in the playoff.
Right where we want to be, and like I said, the best of the best playing the best. That's where we want to be.
I told you he talked in circles. He certainly has his own way of delivering the message. As for Ohio State, they're trying to prove they belong in the Final Four after they were beaten decisively by the Wolverines. Buckeyes are almost a touchdown underdog against top-ranked Georgia. So let's go to the scrap metal. Well, this one's a special scrap metal this week, Tom, because it's one that comes on the heels of the awful loss the Penn State community is dealing with as Franco Harris passed away at the age of 72.
Well, we're going to give it this week to the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mr. Art Rooney, the way they handled this whole situation with the passing of the legendary Franco Harris. Not only from the way that they did everything appropriately, but with the players wearing number 32. They all had number 32 in the game. As Jay pointed out, he's a quarterback. The Pickett had his call, and it didn't become live until he said Franco, Franco, and that made it a live call. And then you have a running back named Harris getting the ball.
And scoring 13 points and winning in the last seconds.
Hollywood couldn't write the script any better.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And it was a special night. Coach Tomlin put on his 32 jersey and talked about the victory afterwards.
We had a chance to be a part of Steeler history tonight. And we don't take that lightly, man. We're just so appreciative of the ground that's been laid by those that have come before us. The men like this man's jersey that I'm wearing right here. Man, we get to enjoy the fruit of their labor daily, man, just in terms of the standard of expectation here in Pittsburgh, the relationship that we have with our fan base, man. And we just wanted to honor him, his teammates, and all the men that have come before us.
And I've said it before, only a few athletes are universally known by their first name, and Franco was one of them. When we come back, our scouting report, our coaches dive a little deeper into the game plans, what formations and plays could work, and which ones to avoid as the Nittany Lions prep for a physical battle with the Utes in Pasadena. Nittany Game Week returns after this.
Scrap Metal is sponsored by the We Are In, voted #1 game day restaurant in Center County. Follow us on Facebook and visit thewearein.com. or call for dinner or room reservations.
We're back on Nittany Game Week. The wait between the regular season finale on Thanksgiving weekend and the bowl game after New Year's can feel like an eternity after 12 games in 13 weeks. Well, here it is, just about time to take the field in Pasadena, California. Coach Paterno, Coach Bradley, after everyone runs onto the field, takes a quick look around at the Rose Bowl Stadium full of Nittany Lions and Utes fans. What do you expect to see once the game finally kicks off?
Well, we've kind of spoon-fed you a little bit of Utah stuff every week, and now we're going to give you the full game plan. It's game week, give you everything in terms of a scouting report you're going to need to know. And with every scouting report, Tom, you know you always love the tip sheet. Let's take a look at a couple things. Their kicking game, we've had issues, 80th in net punting, and their longest field goal attempt is 45 yards, not a lot of range. So what does that do for your 4-down range?
There's going to be a lot of thought process on offense. You got 2 plays, extra plays to make that first down.
Now, offensively, you better stay out of 3rd and long. They're good there, very aggressive, and then you've got to be ready for a physical football game. So let's talk a little bit about what they do offensively. Number one, this is a very aggressive coaching staff in terms of late in the game. They were trailing USC by 7, 4th down and goal. They go for it. Cameron Rising scores a touchdown. And then they say, you know what, we're going for 2. I mean, this is the ball game. They're going for 2. They're going to put it in his hands, and USC plays man, and they got a spy, Tom.
The Sky's about to be able to tackle that guy.
Yeah, and he's good, and you can see on this.
He's really good.
They've got the spy. They've got people in position. This is for the ball game. This is no overtime for us. Thank you very much. We're going to go win the game now. So be ready for that. Now let's talk about what they do. We talked about their offensive line. 135 combined starts with these guys. Very good on the outside, but also very good on the inside. Tom, like Michigan, be ready for the north-south run game.
It's going to be a downhill run game. Those shoulders are going to be square by this running back hitting up the line of scrimmage. There'll be nothing cute about this run game.
And when he gets, they lost their leading rusher in Week 10. The 2 guys that have filled in have done a great job for them. Nice stiff arm there. That's the way that's not what you want to see from your secondary guy like that. But look how quick to the hold north and south, and you got to be ready for that. So let's go to the next play. Now, because we talked about the 4-down territory being extended on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 8, it really opens up more of the playbook that you have to defend. This is a route concept, Tom, you know, is a first or second down route concept to get you 7-8 yards. They're comfortable doing it on 3rd and 10 because they know they're going to go for it.
They're going up for it on 4th down. Don't have the field goal kicker.
Yep. And here, they throw it to tight end. He catches the ball, makes the 1st down anyway. So it worked out for him. Let's talk about one more element on this in terms of this is a team you're going to see more inside breaking routes than you probably have seen since Ohio State. Very aggressive with this. Put a lot of pressure on your linebackers, Tom.
It's going to put some pressure on the linebacker. But once again, not having that tight end is going to make a difference.
Yep. And you see, again, they bring the back in here. And again, they've got some good tight ends, but obviously the guy had 70 catches for a reason. But the Penn State linebackers will have to cover these guys. Now, how do you take advantage of aggressive of the linebackers on the other side? Well, here you can be ready for these guys on 3rd down. Pressures, these guys, they're very aggressive. Number 21, 20, and 3 are all really good, very aggressive, and they come after you. Wide pressure, Tom.
Yeah, and then the tackle's got to really pass set out a little bit wider than they're probably used to.
Yeah, he doesn't even get a hand on that guy. That's how fast they are off the edge. That's a linebacker. Now, to take advantage of that, you got to be ready for some play-action pass because they're really going to try and stop the run. This is a play that Penn State has in their playbook with the 3rd guy out, the baby in the back. Penn Staters will recognize this play. USC hurt them with this one.
Because these guys are so aggressive and they're downhill quickly. This is a great play to run down there.
Yeah, so look for those play actions. Could be tight ends coming out across behind the formation, tailback out of the backfield. Look for that. And then finally, we talked about how aggressive they are at offense. This is the Heisman Trophy winner. They're up 1 point with 32 seconds to go, and USC's got 2 timeouts, and they send the house. Their coordinator, Morgan Scalley, is a secondary coach. You usually don't see
They
this.
don't do that if you're a secondary coach. These are the linebacker coaches.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Heisman Trophy winner back there who literally.
Well, they do have other things out of it. They like to bring all 6. They pop 2 guys. They do a bunch of different things out of this look, too.
But they're going to play aggressive. Got to be ready for that. Todd, and a guy who always plays aggressive when he's
golfing
300 from the hole and he's not going to lay up. That's Todd Sadowski.
I'm not laying up. That's right. I know you guys. I can hear it in your voice. They appreciate that aggressiveness and just rolling the dice. Thanks, coaches. We've known for weeks Penn State is up against a tough Utah squad. We figure it can't hurt to get a Pac-12 perspective on the Utes, especially when it comes from someone from Pennsylvania. Yogi Roth graduated high school from Lackawanna Trail in northeastern PA, played at Pitt, and is now an analyst for the Pac-12 network.
The Pac-12 is going to send a team to play any of the big dogs that are in the CFP right now. I would vote it to be Utah, and not because they won the Pac-12 title, but because of the physical nature of them. They could drop into the SEC and handle that environment. They could drop into the Big Ten. You'll see in the Rose Bowl, they can handle that environment. Like, they're built like that. It's a different type of team than we traditionally have out west because they're so stout up front.
And Yogi says Sean Clifford and the offensive line's ability to recognize and pick up pressure will be the key to the game. We've had outstanding interview guests all season long. We take a look back and show you some of the more impactful questions and answers from our 2022 season. More Nittany Game Week is just ahead.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Well, welcome back. Time for our Impact Interview. And I think I speak for all of us when I say viewer feedback is usually, yeah, sure, we enjoy watching you guys, but the guests are phenomenal. Tom, you tell me that all the time.
All the time. I get it. Hey, who's your guest? Who was your guest this week? I hear it all the time. They don't ask how I'm doing. They just say, who's your guest?
That's right.
It's just nice for them to see some real talent on there as opposed to this group.
But seriously, though, the relationships you guys have built through the years, you're able to not necessarily leverage them, just ask them, hey, do you want to come on and talk about what you're doing? And they have become such impactful interviews.
Well, you know, everybody I talked to, you know, hey, when am I coming back on? So they've had a lot of fun with it, too. And we get to talk some things, you know, even like asking Chris Fowler whether he's a Beatles or a Stones guy, and he said Stones. I mean, those are the kind of things you get beyond the football.
It really is something, because just to get them out of their element a little bit to come on our show.
All right, well, look, it's the final weekend of the year, so it's a perfect time to look back. Here's a compilation of some of our more impactful interviews of the season.
I feel like this is a recruiting visit that never happened with Jay and Coach Bradley there. I'm happy to be with y'all. It's great to be here.
Especially service to the troops for me was the most significant, most important part of my position. I'm a huge patriot, as you guys know. I know you are too. And being able to travel to Kuwait and Iraq and visit the troops there for almost 2 weeks in country, that was truly the honor of a lifetime.
That's enough soft talk about, being nice to Penn State.
Yeah.
Let's.
That's right. And look, we got some hard questions. You think those White House pool reporters were tough? Wait till you get a load of Tom Bradley.
That was, 10 years ago that we started beer sales, and I'd say there's probably, 30, 40 schools that since then have done the exact same thing. And it hasn't caused any issues at all.
I just want you to know, I don't remember the 1995 game. I just remember the 1994 and the 1996 game, okay?
I love both of those programs. I think it's been fun to see what Lincoln's done with USC and what Chip's been doing with UCLA. So, look, I know we're going to be seeing them a lot. I won't be able to drive to practice as easily, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I think the growth of the Big Ten is exciting, and I grew up in Minnesota, so Big Ten country is all I've known.
Is there a moment or a game that really stands out for you during your time at Penn State?
From the games at Beamer Stadium, a couple come to my mind. Obviously, some of the whiteout games that we had. Obviously, we had the victory over Ohio State with the blocked field goal. The one over Michigan where we kind of came out the gates firing, and they just got the crowd in it immediately. So, those were great ones, great memories that I have. But one of my favorite ones was just the last game, senior day in Beaver Stadium against Maryland.
Always nice to be with you guys, hanging out. And then I am certainly looking forward to getting to Happy Valley. It's been a long time since I've been to Happy Valley, and I can't wait to hear that cougar go, wow!
Hey, Mike, you were an offensive guy in college, which as a defensive guy myself, I always resented those offensive guys. So when did you finally see the light, find religion to become a convert to the right side of the ball?
Hey, Scrap, it didn't take me long at all, to be quite honest with you. I quickly realized that defensive coaches have more fun, man, and they leave work earlier.
That is true.
What do people really want and what do they need? And I came up with the idea of coffee. And then I said, I got to actually try this product because I don't need coffee. I think you can tell. I wake up and I'm ready to go all the time. But I was like, I got to try this stuff. And let's just say, it's changed my life, obviously, in multiple ways. I enjoy it now. I have 2 cups every day, and it's just something I want to bring people together because there's just so much that can happen over a cup of coffee, conversations, people meeting up that haven't seen each other in a long time. So that's why I started LeGrand Coffee House, and we are bringing unity to the community with a daily cup of belief.
It's been a fun year full of entertaining guests. You can see the full Impact interviews all at our website. Make sure to go to NittanyGameWeek.com. We are down to the top 4 finalists for our Nittany Game Week Pride Picks playoffs. The voting is intense. You still have a day or two to get in your choice for the top Pride Pick of our 2022 season. We're going to have more details for you. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week. Now, the holidays are upon us for a lot of sports fans. That means time to travel, especially to the Pocono Mountains. When making your plans, keep in mind one of, if not the best casino resort in Pennsylvania is waiting there for bowl season.
You see the guys coming, they're loud and proud in their, in their favorite team wear and sort of thing. You can have a conversation with them on the floor, and and they're coming into the sports book again to make that, make that little wager. It's a fun time of the year.
Plenty of people travel to Mount Airy for the sports book. Before you even set foot inside, the outside of the property makes you stop and stare.
You just have to come here once. This is arguably the nicest casino in the state. It's luxuriously finished, open sprawling grounds, there's a lot of space here, and it was done beautifully.
Of course, it's decorated to match the holiday season. For those that can't wait for the casino action, you can't miss the centrally located gaming areas and sportsbook. But don't forget to wander around and get a drink by the pool. They can accommodate events of over 1,000 people, and as you would expect, the food choices are worth the trip itself. Sports fans, couples, action seekers, it doesn't matter the reason for the visit. It's all about the experience of your stay once you arrive.
If you just want to have a cozy, romantic weekend, there's absolutely no reason to have to leave the property. We've got everything you would ever want in here. Or if you want to get outside, within a half an hour of us, there's a multitude of things to do. There's some things that you can do that you just need to know what there is available in the, in the area. And we've got a resource that tells you everything there is to do and will help guide you and get you there, for whatever it is that you want to do, as adventurous as you want or as quiet as you'd like to be.
And if you want more information on the Pocono Mountains and you're thinking about making a visit, make sure you visit their website, PoconoMountains.com. You think they might be a little busy with the Happy New Year weekend with a little NFL, some college football, all that kind of stuff going on. And then one more trip, Jay, on the mountain at Shawnee.
A little skiing.
Yeah. All right. Double black diamonds for Jay, Tom.
I can't wait. Yeah. Can I analyze that on the BAM?
That's right. We're going to give him the wrong map.
Bring it on.
Footage. That's right.
I want to analyze that, please.
When in doubt, just follow gravity.
There we go. We'll put it on the big screen. All right. Well, in addition to a television show, we're bringing Nittany Lions together with our depth chart at NittanyGameWeek.com. We're connecting businesses that support the show with our viewers. Our goal is to build a team that keeps our hometowns strong. The depth chart, one of many reasons to visit our website, NittanyGameWeek.com. You can check out all of this year's Impact interviews, consume our web-exclusive content, and watch past episodes. We have a lot to share with you when it comes to college football. So let's finish our show with some Pride picks. Only a few more days to vote for your choice as the Pride pick of the season. The winner?
Free cabin on the Happy Valley Cruise Bermuda, and the voting is very intense.
Yeah,
and close.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nip and tuck.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming. A couple more days where you can vote. Go to the website and put in your choice. For Jay and Tom, I'm Todd. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next time.